This is an informational video on the USA Cycling category upgrade system with frequently asked questions answered. I've been getting a lot of questions about upgrading, kind of what the procedure is, what's the right way to go about it. So that's something that I want to go over today. So for upgrading, if you're relatively new to cycling, you'll be starting out in the category novice or category 5 fields for road and for cyclocross, and then for mountain bike you'll be starting out in category 3. And so from there you want to work up basically toward 1, and to go about that you'll either need to get experience in races, or once you get to a little bit higher levels toward category 2 and 1, then you'll need to actually do well in races and get good placing, so then you can get upgrade points for that. But I'll go through that whole system here. So you should have already created your USA Cycling account. And up here at the top right, you can see that's where you'll sign in. If not, you'll create the account there. Now here's some general information for upgrading. So there you'll go to the Resources tab, and then you'll head over to Upgrades. And that's where you'll get to this page that I was just at here. So this is something that you want to go through for all of your upgrading inquiries. So it's saying you want to log into your account, and then when you actually produce your upgrade information that you'll plug in via your USA Cycling account, these are all the things that you want to add on. And what I'm going to show you later in the video is you actually want to have a Word document or the like to go through and keep all of this information, and you can kind of see how you're working towards upgrading throughout your season or throughout multiple seasons. So there's some general information. To get a little bit more in depth in what I'm talking about when it comes to actually getting upgrade points and understanding that system, you can type in USA Cycling upgrade points, and from there we want to go to this policy number right here, policy 8. So from here it'll give you on the USA Cycling page some general upgrade policies. Some of these are updated due to the pandemic, but a lot of them have been transferred over from years past. There is a little bit different terminology when it comes to upgrading. So some general things to go through before I go over that is that upgrades can only be processed by using races that are USA Cycling sanctioned events. And so your typical races are, but make sure you check on that, because there are some races, some gravel events, and things like that that don't count towards upgrading. Okay, so because of the COVID-19 virus, the voluntary upgrades, there's a certain window of time of races that you can use. You can't use races when you've raced 5 years ago to upgrade for this upcoming year. And so the rule is actually 36 months. And so that's new. It used to be within, I believe, a 12 or a 24-month period. And so when it comes to upgrading, you start out in a category 5 or novice. Basically, this year is a transitional year. It used to be you start out in category 5, and then you progress from 5 up to 4, 3, 2, 1, and then some pro teams might start looking at you if you're doing exceedingly well in the category 1 field. And so they've changed the terminology to category 5 to novice from category 5. So if you say novice, a novice field or a category 5 field, they're talking about the same exact thing. They're just trying to make it a little bit more clear for people who are just starting out into racing. So if you're a novice with racing, then you'll be category 5 or the novice field. And so you'll be able to upgrade using this chart right here. So you'll see you start out in the category 5 or the novice category. And so you can upgrade at will, which is something that's new for this year, or you're forced to upgrade. It's a mandatory upgrade if you get 10 points within 12 months. Now, how you accrue points is based on this table over here, and this is for mass start races only, so your road races or your criteriums. For your time trials, because that's not a mass start event, you won't be able to use the points here. So for road upgrades, if you're in a race that has 5 to 10 starters and you get first place, then that's where you'd get 3 points. The same thing for second and for third. You can see the numeric value here. Now for races that you've competed in that are from 11 to 20 starters, then you can see the points out here, and you can go along this chart. It's based on your finishing place and how many people were in your field. Now, how to calculate the number of riders in your field are based on the number of riders that are in your category or higher. So what that means is if you're in the novice category and you're racing in a 4 novice or a 4-5 field, then everyone in your race will be counted towards your number of starters. And so then if you have 10 riders in your field and they're a mix of category 4 and 5 and you're a novice, then if you finish second, then you'll get 2 points. Now, if you're in that same field, you're a category 4 and you're trying to cat up or upgrade up to a category 3, you're basically you're trying to race against people who are in your category or higher. So that will affect how many starters are in your field. So if you're a category 4 and you're trying to upgrade to 3, let's get an example. So you're in a category 4-5 event. You want to only calculate the starters who are category 4s. So I'll go into my racing history here. So let's get an example. So this website is called Road Results. Basically, you can go through, you can look at the history of any result, and it will give you. You can look up your name, you can look up your team if you have that, but that's something that I'll go into in a later video. And so you can see this is the 4-5 race that I was in. You can see I'm highlighted here. I got 10th place. And so you want to go down, and because I'm a category 4 and I'm trying to upgrade to a category 3, you want to go down to the bottom. You'll see the finishers. That's your starting list. So you see that there's 18 category 4 riders, and then you have 11 category 5 riders. And so if I'm a category 4 trying to go up to 3, then I only include these 18 participants, because these people, these category 5 or the novice riders, they don't count towards my upgrades. So I can see 18 and I finished 10th. And so I go back to my chart, which is over here. And so then 18, that's the starters are from 11 to 20, so that's where 18 fits in, and I got 10th. So you can see I wouldn't get any points. Now, if I go to a race that I did well in, so let's go here. I'm a category 4. I'm trying to upgrade to category 3. So I clicked on my name and it'll come right up here. And so it's a category 4-5, so that means that there are going to be some people who are category 5 who don't count. So it just so happens that the finishers, category 4, there are 18 of them. And then the category unknown or category 5s, those don't matter in my upgrade, because I want only my category or better. So then that's category 4, it's 18. So 18, and I finished second. So I go starting place, there were more than 10, and then there was less than 20, so it's 11 to 18, and then I got second, so that would give me 5 points. Now, same type of situation, and let me go to a race. Let's see. Let's go to a race this year. Okay, so this is a race that is a category 3-4. So I'm a category 4. I go up here, so category 4, I'm racing with 3s and 4s, so everyone is at my level or higher. And so you can double check that, and you can see there's actually category 2, so that will count because that's higher than me. Category 3, so that's up to 20 when you add those two together. And then category 4, then that is also my category, so I have 25. Category 5 doesn't count since I'm a category 4, and you only do your category or higher. So I got 26 racers that count towards that. I came in 5th. So I can come to my chart again here. So that's 21 to 49. So that would be the column that I use, and then I came in 5th, so I would get 3 upgrade points there to go from category 4 to 3. Okay, hopefully that all makes sense. And so if anything's unclear, make sure that you leave a comment down below, and I will try to do my best to answer with updates and everything like that. Okay, so what I like to do, this is a more recent upgrade, so I like to create a Word document like I said earlier. You need to, just like it said on the USA Cycling page, it needs to have your name, your license number, which you will find on your you'll find when you log into your USA Cycling account. You can go to your membership, and that will say your USA Cycling number right there. It should be right at the top. So what I like to do, I'll put that down, and I'll say exactly right at the top what I'm trying to do. For this sheet, I was upgrading from category 3 to 2, and it was a road category, road upgrade. I put down exactly what I used to upgrade, and these were the old rules, so make sure that you check in here to see the upgrades from 3 to 2. And then I put the date, the name, the category of the race. I put the place that I received at the end, how many racers, and that is how many racers that are not total in the race, but that are your category or higher, just like we went over. So in the 3-4, because I'm a category 3 in this situation, and I'm trying to upgrade to 2, the 4s that are in this race do not count towards my upgrade. So I'll see March 16th. I'll go to my road results. That was from 2019. That was this race here. And so it takes me down here, so you can see category 3 here, category 1, and that will give me, so the category 4s or 5s or the unknowns won't give me any upgrade points toward that. And so that gives me 32, a place of 4, and then that calculated over using that chart, which might be a little bit different since the chart has changed a little bit. So let's go through that. So I have 32 racers, and I placed 4th. So there were, this category here, there are 32 racers. I placed 4th, so that would give me 4 points. So actually, the upgrade points here would change to 4. And then I have a column for the total points, so then I can see how I'm progressing throughout the season. Okay. So you can kind of given some examples here. You can do the same thing for cyclocross. So this was my upgrade from category 3 to 2 for cyclocross. When you go in here, that's road upgrades. If you're going for another discipline, like the track, cyclocross, or mountain bike. So you can see the tables are going to be a little bit different, and then what's required to upgrades are going to be a little bit different here. So let's kind of talk through each individual chart. So your road upgrades, so new for this year is you'll start out as a novice, and then you can upgrade at will, or you're required to upgrade if you get 10 points in 12 months. Now say you only do a few races this year, and then next year you do a few more races, and they're spread out over more than 12 months, and you get some upgrade points, then you might not have to upgrade. Now what I typically say for upgrades, especially for categories 5 or novice, which are the same thing, is, and this is also kind of in general as well, so you want to get experience. That's the whole point of being in the novice category, is you want to get experience, you want to get used to riding in a bunch. Hopefully you've been doing that outside of racing. But getting used to riding in a bunch, getting used to seeing how people go around corners and following wheels and being safe. And you also want to get some experience with not only finishing races, but trying to actually get some upgrade points and to finish well, because there's a difference between getting finishing a race and trying to contest a podium place or trying to contest a win. There are differences in fitness and especially in skills, and you want to make sure that you have enough skills and fitness to upgrade. So that would be my advice for upgrading here. So I wouldn't just upgrade right after your first race, unless you're very skilled and very experienced in group riding and you have some really good fitness. But you will have to mandatory upgrade if you get 10 points or more in 12 months. And that's something that I would keep track of. Now from category 4, so when you become a category 4 and you're trying to upgrade to a category 3, so voluntarily, that means once you reach 20 points within the 3 years, you can voluntarily upgrade. You aren't forced to upgrade, so you can get more experience. You can kind of follow my suggestion with trying to win and trying to get podium places in order to get more skills in the tail end of a race. Or another way you can upgrade, they give you a few options, or you can use 20 pack finishes in a category 4 or higher race. So it might be category 4 or a 3-4 race, or a 4-5 race. So I would try to stay away from that, because as I said before, there's a big difference in just finishing with the pack and actually trying to contest a podium or a winning position in the end. So what I would kind of try to push people more to is working more towards the mandatory side, because then you'll be getting more experience, and you'll actually be a little bit more successful, I found, with upgrading and actually being able to hang and do well in the category 3 or higher categories. So that's 30 points in 12 months, 3 wins in a field of 21 or greater starters in 12 months. So you kind of have two options there. If you hit either one of those, then you are forced to upgrade. But if you're doing that, then you'll actually be doing really well in working towards becoming a better cyclist in terms of skills, fitness, and knowing what to do at the tail end of a race. Because we all like to daydream about winning, but there's a big difference in actually being put in that position, and a lot of subtle differences than what you'd actually imagine actually occur at that point. So once you're able to upgrade from category 4 to 3, then the rules change a little bit. So then it requires 30 points in 3 years, and it mandatorily, or 40 points in 12 months, or 3 wins in a field. So it's very similar to before, but the Category 3s will be definitely quite a bit more competitive because you have to think that all the Category 4s that were good and upgraded, it's basically only the cream of the crop in that from that category. And then the same thing occurs from Category 2 to Category 1, except for it takes a little bit more to make that transition, and through the mandatory upgrade a little bit more there as well, because it's harder to get up to these higher levels. Now, something that's also very important, you'll see when I had my sheet here, I have Category 3 to 2 Upgrade Road. And so basically, once I submit all of these races and I get upgraded, then I start with a blank sheet from Category 2 to 1. And the same thing happened when I went from 5 to 4, from 4 to 3, and from 3 to 2. So I could not, when I was a Category 5, I couldn't use any of those races when from when I upgraded to use toward my next upgrade. So basically, you're starting fresh every time you upgrade. So once you receive that upgrade, then you can start a new sheet toward upgrading to the next category. So like none of them will carry over. Even if you're a Category 4 and you raced with the 3s and you upgraded to the 3s, none of those will work carrying forward. Now, there are some other things to keep in mind to upgrade from 5 to 4 and 4 to 3. Since getting the experience is so important, there are a few different programs, including the Beginning Racer program. This is recommended for all novices. They aren't all throughout the U.S., and I don't believe there are any in Northeast Pennsylvania, as far as I know. But I know in California and on the West Coast, they're a lot more prevalent than they are here, and so that can help give a lot of guidance in racing, some tips, and then sometimes they actually do practice races. So if there's anything like that in your area, keep a lookout for that. And then there are also skills clinics, which are very similar to the beginner race programs. And so I'm not aware of any in Northeast Pennsylvania, but I know that they're definitely present in California. And then something else with stage races, that's something typically used just for higher category upgrades. So basically points are awarded for the overall. So at the end of all the stages, there will be an overall winner, either based on aggregate time or based on an omnium or point system. But that's only applicable for racers who are Category 3 or above to upgrade. Okay. So I believe that should be kind of all you need to know about upgrading when in terms of road, cyclocross, mountain bike, and then everything else you can definitely make sure that you check out this policy 8 here, and go through like the general policies and the frequently asked questions, and that should be about it. All right, so any questions, make sure you leave them in the comments down below, and I'll make sure I take a look at those. And then also, especially if you're new to racing and want to learn more about kind of the ins and outs and getting started and with walkthroughs, then make sure that you subscribe. Thanks for watching the video. Make sure you like and subscribe so that I can keep on producing this content to help out new racers and riders alike.